Hey everybody, Mr. Troy here. You have chosen level 1 of the quadratic warm-up. Here we go. Now, what you will notice about each of these quadratics is that they are already in standard form. So, we do not need to set anything equal to 0, and we do not need to move any terms around. We're just going to pick out our A, our B, our C, and work our way through the formula. Alright, so remember that A is the lead coefficient, B is the linear coefficient, and C is the constant term. Check out what I've done for these three problems and see if that matches. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to plug into the formula. I'm going to start that with this top left problem. So it starts out x equals the opposite of b. Well, the opposite of negative 8 is positive 8. Plus or minus, big square root. Now we've got a b squared. B is negative 8, so b squared is negative 8 times negative 8, which is positive 64. This number right here should always be a positive for you. If you're not getting that, check to see what you punched into your calculator, whether you used parentheses or not. So following on, we've got minus 4 times A times C. Those are pretty straightforward. All over 2A. 2A. Okay, so the next part to simplify is the minus 4 times 1 times 7. 4 times 1 times 7 is 28, so that is 64 minus 28. Then we're going to simplify that. 64 minus 28 is 36. So I've got the square root of 36 there. Now, the square root of 36 is 6, so this is going to give me 8 plus or minus 6 over 2. Which I'm going to split up in two ways, to 8 plus 6 over 2 and 8 minus 6 over 2. 8 plus 6 is 14, and 14 over 2 is 7. 8 minus 6 is 2, and 2 over 2 is 1. So those are my two separate answers for this problem. On the next one, when I go to fill it in, I've got x equals the opposite of 4, that's this 4 right here, plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 4 times a, which is 4, times c, all over 2 times a. Now this is interesting because 4 times 4 times 1 is 16. So this simplifies down to 16 minus 16, which is the square root of 0. Now the square root of 0 is 0, so negative 4 plus or minus 0 over 8. Well, negative 4 plus 0 is negative 4, and negative 4 minus 0 is negative 4. So both of those answers are the same. They both reduce to negative 1/2. All right, moving on to the next problem. I've got x equals the opposite of 4 plus or minus the square root. Again, this is 16 minus 4 times 1 times 5 all over 2 times 1. I'm going to get negative 4 plus or minus. This is going to turn into 16 minus 20. So I've got 16 minus 20 over 2. Negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 20 over 2. Now, 16 minus 20 is negative 4. And I know that using real numbers, I am not allowed to take the square root of negative 4. So that means that this problem is going to have no real solutions.